Whatever other challenges it might be facing right now, there's no doubt that Huawei's P40 Pro is one of the best phone cameras out there. But Huawei isn't stopping with a mere 4-lens setup this year. In fact, the P40 Pro has a big brother with an even more impressive camera array, which, if circumstances were a bit different, would probably be making a much bigger splash. This is the Huawei P40 Pro Plus, the first phone with a true 10x optical zoom. Galaxy S4 zoom owners, do not at me. It's big, it's expensive, and it's got a total of 7 cameras, 2 on the front and 5 on the back. Now, for the most part, you're dealing with the P40 Pro here. A lot of the core specs are identical, so it makes more sense right away to just show what the differences are. Those include a main sensor, same ultra-wide sensor, same selfie cameras. The big difference here is instead of a 5x optical zoom, you've got a 3x optical and a 10x optical. The 3x appears to be pretty much the same as what we got last year in the Mate 30 Pro, f2.4, optically stabilized, and pretty good for punching in just a little bit more than usual. The 10x zoom is a real monster though. As you can see from the label on the back here, it's a 240mm equivalent setup that uses a multiple periscope arrangement in order to fit all this stuff into something the size of a smartphone. So to reach the sensor and fit in all those lenses, light is reflected multiple times inside the phone. You can get a feel for how wild this camera setup is by taking a peek inside the periscope and seeing how, to the naked eye, it looks kind of bigger on the inside, sort of like a TARDIS camera or something like that. What we can't really show you just yet though is photo samples. That's because this right here is a very early version of the P40 Pro Plus, which is running extremely early testing firmware. You can get a feel for how far you can actually zoom here, but obviously the image quality is nowhere near what you'll get when the final device is actually available to buy. There is still software tuning to do between now and then. In fact, in this firmware, the phone isn't even set up to actually take photos with the 10x zoom lens, so you kind of have to just admire its capabilities through the viewfinder. That viewfinder goes all the way up to 100 times, by the way, as opposed to the mere 50 times of the standard non-Plus P40 Pro. It remains to be seen how well it'll do when maxed out at 100 times zoom. We all remember how Samsung was dunked on recently for promising 100 times space zoom, then eventually delivering very smudgy results at that high zoom level. Every new level of zoom or wide angle that we get in a flagship phone adds to the versatility of the camera that you have with you everywhere that you go. And there are plenty of Android phones out there right now that deliver 10x hybrid zoom, basically software-assisted zoom from a 5x camera. With that in mind, the most exciting thing for the P40 Pro Plus isn't that it does real, honest optical 10x, but that with hybrid zoom, it could push 15 or 20 times with a similar level of quality. Of course, there's the unavoidable software question that gets raised with every new Huawei phone these days, and the teething issues involved in using a phone without Google mobile services. But in the P40 Pro Plus, Huawei has a very tantalizing carrot to offer to phone buyers. Not just excellent low light and video, but also true telephoto zoom that's at least a year beyond anything on the market right now. That's it for now. We'll be getting final P40 Pro Plus hardware into review soon, so stay tuned for our full coverage, including a loadout of photo samples.